Attention passionate Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Buffalo Bills' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Buffalo Bills fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Let's get to the news. All right, folks, buckle up because what I'm about to tell you could be one of the most significant moves in the AFC this season, and it involves none other than Max Crosby, the Wolf of Sack from the Las Vegas Raiders, potentially heading to Buffalo. Yeah, you heard me right. This isn't just some rumor floating around, it's gaining serious traction. According to sources close to Adam Schefter, the Raiders are reportedly open to trading Crosby after the deadline, which is coming up fast, and the deal could include a first-round and a second-round pick in the 2026 draft, along with a reserve edge player. This isn't just about acquiring youth, but it's also a clear signal that Vegas is in rebuild mode. They're trying to shed some cap space, and apparently they're willing to let Crosby go, a guy who's been a perennial threat on every snap since he entered the league. Now, why would the Raiders part ways with Crosby? Well, for starters, their defense has been pretty average this season, giving up around 25 points per game. They're sitting on roughly $18 million in cap space, which they need to allocate for a new quarterback and extensions for key players like Davante Adams. Retaining Crosby at an asking price of around $25 million a year. That's a tough pill to swallow, especially when they've already traded away assets like Mack in 2018, which brought them some draft picks but left their edge rush somewhat exposed. It's a classic case of needing to rebuild the trenches, and trading Crosby could open up some valuable cap room for Vegas, even if it hurts to lose one of their best pass rushers. But for Buffalo fans, this potential trade is more than just a cap move. It's about what Crosby could bring to the Bills' defense, which has been trending upward but still has room for a superstar like him. Imagine adding Crosby to that front seven, turning it into a true nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. Over the past couple of seasons, Crosby has been a relentless force, rushing the passer with a fury that's hard to match. He's tallied 73 sacks over 7 seasons, including 15 forced fumbles, and has been selected to 4 Pro Bowls. His PFF grade has consistently hovered around the high 80s and low 90s, reflecting his dominance on the field. Last season alone, he racked up 12 sacks in just 15 games, even while dealing with an ankle injury that bothered him since week 2. And in 2024, Crosby already has 7.5 sacks on the board, with a PFF rating of 93.5, surpassing many of his peers in tackle for loss and QB hits. The question is, why would the Bills jump into this mix? Well, if you look at their current situation on defense, they're hungry for impact players. They've been solid but not quite elite, especially when it comes to pressure on the quarterback. Adding Crosby would instantly elevate their front line, likely bumping up their sack total by around 14. That's a significant upgrade. More pressure on the QB means more turnovers, more sacks, and a defense that could dominate the AFC. For context, last season, the Bills' pass rush was decent but inconsistent, with Gregory Rousseau and Von Miller providing some splash plays. But Miller's health has been a concern, and Rousseau's durability has been tested. Crosby, with his relentless motor, could be the missing piece that pushes this defense into the elite tier. Now, let's talk about the big impact this could have on the Bills' overall outlook for the season. If they acquire Crosby, their pressure rate versus the quarterback could jump by 22%, which is huge. PFF grades suggest that this addition could push the Bills' pass rush to an impressive 84.0, making them one of the top units in the league. Crosby's presence also benefits the run defense, which would see a drop from 110 yards allowed per game down to around 85 yards. That's a game changer. And it's not just about sacks and yards. It's about creating chaos, forcing turnovers, and setting up the offense for shorter fields. The Bills' offense, led by Josh Allen, would have more opportunities to score, and their chances of winning close games increase exponentially. Now, you might be wondering about the ripple effects. The Raiders are navigating some tough waters. Their offense is scoring around 20 points per game, and they're in need of a fresh start after trading away some key assets. They're also trying to extend players like Adams and figure out their quarterback situation. The cap space freed up by trading Crosby could be pivotal for them, especially given the financial constraints and the need to rebuild their roster. But for Buffalo, this isn't just about filling a hole, it's about making a statement. It's about showing that they're serious contenders, that they're ready to take that next step and dominate the AFC. And let's not forget the playoff implications. The AFC is stacked this year, with teams like the Bengals, Chiefs, and Ravens all vying for supremacy. But with Crosby on board, the Bills could be seen as the team to beat, especially since he's a proven game changer. His presence could sway the odds in Buffalo's favor, boosting their Super Bowl odds from +1,800 to around +750. In the AFC, they'd go from +900 to a much more favorable +350, positioning themselves as serious contenders. Crosby's ability to disrupt the offensive line, combined with the Bills' already talented roster, especially with players like Von Miller and Greg Rousseau, could create a nightmare scenario for offenses trying to keep up. And speaking of the Super Bowl, the betting odds are reflecting the potential impact of this move. Crosby could be the X factor versus the Bengals, especially considering his impressive sack rate increase last season and his ability to pressure quarterbacks at an elite level. His impact reminds me of the Rams' Miller in 2021, when he transformed their defense and helped secure a Super Bowl victory. That kind of influence is exactly what the Bills need if they want to make a deep playoff run and eventually lift the Lombardi Trophy once again. Of course, there are risks involved. Trading for a player like Crosby isn't just about cap space and draft picks. It's about chemistry, fit, and health. Crosby has had some injury issues, particularly with his ankle, but when healthy, he's one of the most disruptive pass rushers in the league. Buffalo's coaching staff will have to make sure that he meshes well with their scheme, but given his relentless style and leadership qualities, there's a high probability that he'd elevate this defense immediately. In conclusion, this potential trade could catalyze a new era for the Bills, one where they're not just competing but dominating the AFC. Crosby's reputation as a wolf of sack precedes him, and his addition would send a message to the entire league. The Buffalo Bills are here to stay, and they're ready to take control of the AFC East and beyond. It's a bold move, but in the NFL, bold is what wins championships. The Bills have the talent, the coaching, and now maybe, just maybe, the star power to make this season one for the history books. Keep your eyes on this storyline because it's shaping up to be one of the most exciting and impactful of the year, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Buffalo Bills news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Buffalo Bills fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster move? Do you think Crosby would be the perfect fit to elevate this defense even further? Or are you worried about the risks involved? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Bills. This is the kind of move that can set the tone for the entire season, and I want to know what you think. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Buffalo Bills news. Let's keep this passion alive and get ready for what could be an unforgettable season. Let's go Bills!